welcome to the first episode of a brand new series where we hope to shine the spotlight on some of Edmonton's unseen visionaries. My name is Christina, and with me today is...
Hi, I'm Marjorie Bencz. I'm Executive Director of Edmonton's Food Bank.
If you could tell us a little bit more about what you do in common terms.
As Executive Director of Edmonton's Food Bank, I'm responsible for ensuring the vision and mission of the organization are operationalized as an organization. So it's to make sure that we're providing those programs and services out into the community.
That's amazing. And could you tell us about what drew you to work in the food bank?
So at the time, I was interested in working at the food bank because I'd seen some of the initial work happening and what it was doing. And as a volunteer with the organization, I was inspired by the opportunities and challenges that the organization was experiencing.
And have you noticed over these years if the community has surprised or inspired you, and could you tell us more about that?
I'm always appreciative and inspired by community in the sense of the volunteers that come forward each and every day to volunteer with us, the people that make contributions of time or money in order that we can provide the services, as well as the people needing our services and their journeys and the ability for the food bank to participate in that journey.
Have you noticed, is there differences in leadership in the nonprofit sector?
I think for the not-for-profit sector, it's certainly a different kind of work, and I think that many times the volunteers and staff are inspired to maybe do something in the community and make a change. So I think that may mean that leadership looks and feels a little bit differently. And certainly if volunteers and donors don't feel like they're engaged and don't feel like the work is worthwhile, they certainly would find other opportunities to contribute back in the community. So ensuring that people feel engaged and people are feeling part of the organization is a key part of that leadership role.
That's excellent. And you mentioned donors. So obviously that's a large part of your organization. Could you tell us about a large or unique donation that you've received?
Well, of course, I think I want to just preference my answer in saying that every contribution is appreciated. One of our former board chairs said we do our work dollar by dollar and can by can. And so it's really that everybody can make a difference. You give a can of food, and so when you give a can of food, that means a family's going to have a meal today. So every contribution is making a difference. And over time, we certainly have been truly appreciative of some of the larger contributions that have come our way, contributions that made us as an organization much more sustainable, meant that we could have that backup of reserves, or whether it's food or money, so that we can move forward. And so again, there's been contributions that have been larger, but everyone makes a difference.
That's very well said. And you mentioned can by can, dollar by dollar. Could you tell us a little bit more about your mascot? I feel like that really reflects your goal.
So we have a mascot. His name is Philip, F-I-L-L-U-P. So Philip, the grocery bag. And so Philip's been with us for a long time. I think he joined the organization in about 1987, and there's been more than one version of him because he kind of wore out with time. And we joke about him having a better social life than the rest of us.
Of course, and speaking of social life, when you're not in the food bank, how do you enjoy spending your time?
So a couple of things I enjoy is gardening or walking my dog. And if you look around my office, you see a theme of horses. So I do like horses as well.
Excellent. And could you tell us more about what values you hold close to you and if these are reflected at all in your work?
I think service and giving back is really important for me. And you have to feel like you're doing the right thing and doing good work. Integrity, being accountable and trustworthy is important. And also being innovative, and that can mean a lot of different things to different people. But if you look around the organization, we've used some technology to help reduce the workload of our staff or our volunteers and make us a little bit more efficient. And so those looking at innovation where it will help you achieve your mission and goals is really important.
Excellent. And to me, it sounds like there's a lot of amazing stories you have here at the food bank, but do you think there's one moment or story that you could narrow down and tell us about, something that really sticks with you and hits differently?
Well, I think there's always so many stories out there. Stories when people come and get food and they share a little bit about what's happened to them always make our work really special, right? Because often in the food banking world, we talk about stats, we talk about how many people are serving, how many hampers we're preparing, and that's really important. That's the logistics that gets the work done, but our work is really about people.
And so could you tell us about one lesson that you've learned over the years here?
I used to have a poster on my wall that said, "Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want." And I think some of that's still true in life, is that as you get these experiences, sometimes they don't always work out the way you want them to work out, but you have to keep moving ahead. And that's part of striving for change. That's part of striving for excellence.
Very well said. And finally, if you had one message to the people of Edmonton, what would it be?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marjorie, for joining us today and sharing your inspiring journey and the effects of the food bank on our community.
It was very special for me to spend some time with you as well. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on our first episode of this series. See you next week.